What's up, football fans? It's time for week number 9 of the NFL picks and predictions for the 2023-2024 season. And before we even get into those picks, as we always do, let's recap week number 8, which we didn't do too bad. We got an 11 points at a possible 16. We got 11 games right, 11-5, not bad, though we still are trying to make up for that terrible week earlier in the season and stuff like that, so only having one extra point isn't really helping me. I really need to get more like 13-14s, and stuff like that. And when you have a 16-game week, that's the opportunity to get, 13-14 wins right and, get half a week gained. But here, going down through, obviously Buffalo beat up on Tampa Bay. Dallas destroyed the Rams. And I was quite a happy camper watching that game, as you guys can tell. Minnesota beating Green Bay was expected, but now Kirk Cousins is down and out for apparently the year. So, picking the Vikings from here on out might be a little right? Tennessee did defeat Atlanta, so we picked Tennessee. Our first loss is picking Indianapolis in Indianapolis up against New Orleans, because as we all know, New Orleans sucks. But unfortunately, they did manage to squeak out a win, 38-27. That game was pretty close by the half point, and I wasn't watching that game, of course, because I was watching the Cowboys and stuff. But I don't know what happened. Did Indy screw up? Did New Orleans just turn it on in the second half? But 38-27, man, oh man, that's a heavy loss for the Colts for sure. Now Miami, of course, beat up on a very weak New England team, and here's the game. Here's one of my Hail Mary attempts to pull ahead of everyone, because everyone was going to pick the Jets over the Giants. And I nearly damn had that. It went to overtime and, stupid idea and stuff down to the 1 second marker to tie up the game with a field goal and all this stuff, then going to overtime. And, of course, the Jets do win out. But I was this close, and only 2 other people that I know of picked the Giants. It would have been 1 extra point on another 57 people. And, obviously I would have had 12 points, which looks a lot better, making up for some other points, right? We're sitting at 72, which is okay, but the leader's in the 80s, right? So, the low 80s. So, really got to make up a lot of these points, right? So, unfortunately, that Hail Mary did not work out. We've already won a week, so we're back at neutral. So, at this point, we really do want to try and take a few more leaps of faith at this junction to try to pull ahead of the rest of the pack. People are going to start playing a little more conservative than liberal, so it's time to take some shots, take some risks, right? So, unfortunately, though, that one did not work out. And that, as a result, everyone got a point over me in an obvious game, right? Jacksonville beat up on Pittsburgh, we picked. Philadelphia did beat Washington, but Washington, once again, Washington always gives the Eagles a hard time. Always. Division rivalries are a thing, and Washington nearly had that game. I would be really upset as a Washington, if I was a Washington fan, or a Washington, if I had picked Washington, watching that game, because they really did have them. They just needed to hold on, and they just couldn't capitalize, right? Carolina defeating Houston. Who would have thought that? A couple people in my pool, but that's almost a non-game because almost everyone universally picked Houston, and Carolina takes a win. Okay. Then I picked Cleveland to defeat Seattle, and I didn't have faith in Pete Carroll. I probably should have, and boom, I lose the Seattle pick. Then, of course, KC. Now, very few people. There were some people who did pick Denver as their Hail Mary, and that one did work out. Apparently Mahomes was sick with the flu or something like that, but still chose to play. That may or may not have been a factor. I'm hoping that was the case, because they look terrible. 24-9. That just looks awful. And then Baltimore did defeat Arizona, but what a way to end that game with the onside kick, taking the field goal and then going through. And I was actually listening to Bill Burr's podcast about this particular game, where he was covering the spread or doing something, and of course, you need your so many points and stuff, and he goes, why would you go for a field goal? This is what I'm talking about, that everybody's got a side piece and everything. He's doing his whole, some games are fixed for Vegas reasons and stuff like that, which sometimes some stuff you'll watch, Dallas and the Cardinals, anybody, some stuff you'll watch and you go, who's got money on this game? that's on the field? Who's got money in the pot right now? Because sometimes, right? But yeah, once again, an Arizona game. Funny that. But Baltimore still did win the game, but only by, of course, one possession at that point. Then San Francisco did lose to Cincinnati. A lot of people picked San Francisco. I went with the Bengals. My second Hail Mary attempt does work out, though. So I lost one, but I did gain one. Unfortunately, this was a more common Hail Mary. You know, about 10, 12 people out of 60 still picked Cincinnati. So it wasn't a big one-up as it could have been, but still the Bengals won. And then, of course, ending off the night, Chargers and Detroit on Monday. Everything going well there. So, yeah, unfortunately, you know, I had two Hail Marys and only one worked out. You know, it could have been worse. I could have been 0 for 2 for that. So, but we end off the week, as I said, with 11 points. Now, jumping into week number 9. We're going with, right out of the gate, tonight's game, Thursday night, Tennessee Titans in Pittsburgh are going to win. I'm picking Tennessee. I don't like the Steelers. I've never liked the Steelers, but I certainly don't like their play style and a bunch of stuff that they're doing this year. It's just not working. Whatever they're doing is not really working as far as I'm concerned. So I got more faith that Tennessee has a much better shot at winning this game than Pittsburgh does. And actually, it's a good thing. So we're, as I was talking about before, Hail Mary attempts to try to get a few more extra points on the board. This one is one I'm confident in. If I lose it, I lose it. That's fine. Any given Sunday, as they say. But I would be more ticked at myself if I pick Pittsburgh and Tennessee wins than I will be in the reverse. So with that logic, I'm going with Tennessee, though I still think a very close game. Now, the next game, a lot of these games are hard. So when we start off Sunday football, we got Kansas City and Miami. Now, I'm going with Kansas City at home, and I'm just going to assume that the rumor is right that Mahomes had the flu and chose to play anyway. Idiot. But that is the case, right? I'm going with that. So we're going with the Chiefs. Then Atlanta, Minnesota. Once again, a lot of people, so many people, are not going to pick Minnesota as a direct result of Kirk Cousins being hurt and obviously not playing. However, I think this is where people, like myself, capitalize, because Atlanta's not a good team. Minnesota is a better team, is obviously a better team, but without their star quarterback, but that's what I mean. This is an opportunity for their runner-up quarterback to strut his stuff. So let's just see what happens. I'm going with the Vikings. That's another underdog pick for me. Then I am picking Cleveland over Arizona because, once again, Arizona, unless somebody's got some money in Vegas, Cowboys, Ravens, etc., Arizona ain't doing shit this year. We're going with Cleveland. Now, and it's in Cleveland, so I'm giving them the 3 points there. Now, Green Bay, Rams, got to go with the Rams. 100% got to go with the Rams. Just because the Cowboys beat up on the Rams doesn't mean that the Rams are a bad team. Matt Stafford's still a very good quarterback, and the fact of the matter is that Green Bay isn't that good. Green Bay is going to be going further downhill over the next few seasons rather than up. It's time to rebuild and stuff. The Aaron Rodgers era is over, and it's time to rebuild. No different than the Patriots, but they're going to have a few rebuilding seasons before they're even looking at doing a positive outlook on a season ratio. So, but the Rams, however, are still strong. They're still good. It's just that when the Cowboys are on, we're on. We are a contender, so I don't hold that against the Rams at all. So I'm going with the Rams there. New England, Washington, got to go with the Commanders. If the Commanders can put up 31 points and keep the Philadelphia Eagles at bay for most of a game, I don't know what Bill Belichick is supposed to do with his really bad Patriots team. So there you go. Commanders winning that game in New England. Now, I am going to be picking New Orleans, and I actually hate this pick. I'm going to be picking New Orleans only because it's in New Orleans against the Chicago Bears. Do I think Chicago Bears are a worse team than New Orleans? Yeah. Overall, yes. New Orleans still sucks. This is two bad teams going at it. I'm hesitant, but I am picking the home team advantage with New Orleans. let's hope that pays off. Now, I am going for Baltimore over Seattle because those Seattle can go right down to the wire. They just came off of a win, so we don't have any of that Pete Carroll stat greatness going on for an underdog pick or anything. And Baltimore has been showcasing that they're scoring what the Baltimore Ravens usually do, scoring over 30-plus points a game on offense. Seattle, not so much showcasing that same drive, but if this is not the Baltimore team, as I've expressed before, that Baltimore is an odd team, that they will score 30, 40 points, 6 games in a row, and then all of a sudden, maybe 6 points, maybe 9. Like, it's a drastic. It's not going from 35 to 25. It's going from 38, 40 points down to less than 10. No touch, So I don't know what it is with the Baltimore Ravens, but right now they're looking pretty good. We're going with them. In Houston, I'm going with the Buccaneers, actually. This is another underdog pick, but I am going with them. But Houston and Tampa Bay are sort of on the same sort of scale. There's sort of equilibrium. So it's just another, I'm going against the favorite just to try to rack up some more points. Indianapolis in Carolina. Carolina finally won a game and stuff. That's great. But I'm still going to go with the Colts. Even in Carolina, I think the Colts have a better shot of winning that one. Vegas is terrible. I don't care that they're in Vegas. I'm taking my second shot with the Giants. I'm taking my second shot after not capitalizing on it last week, which kept me out of the running for 12 points. Though I think the winner actually got like 14 or something, so I wasn't in the running anyways. But I'm going with the Giants again because the Raiders are really that bad. And I think the Giants, they're gonna win sometime. They're gonna win sometime. So let's go. Philadelphia against Dallas. Here's the clash of the NFC Titans right here. But Dallas is looking good. Dallas is looking strong. They've made some recoveries from what they did, around the, third and fourth week and stuff like that. So now we can do this. We can 100% do this. So, and Philadelphia is looking like they're squeaking by wins, but they're still struggling to a degree. So I'm going against Philadelphia in Philadelphia. Many people going to be picking against, how about them Cowboys? And I got more faith in my team, so let's go. We're going with the Cowboys. Listen, if the Cowboys were a mediocre team or they were in the losing bracket or something, yeah, I'd probably pick against them too. But why would I pick against my team? I don't pick the Cowboys because they're my team. I pick them because they are a contender team. They've proven that time and time again. We've had great success in the previous couple of years here. So there's no reason not to pick them. I would understand as a Patriots fan picking when it was Tom Brady all the time. But right now, if you pick the Patriots every single week, a Tom Brady-less Patriots, then you're picking because you're just a fan. You don't want to pick against your favorite team. And no, I've picked against the Cowboys in the past. And but why would I right now? I've not seen a single team that, when the Cowboys are on. Last week's Cowboys can contend with any team I've seen play this year. So once again, it just depends on which version of the Cowboys, similar to Baltimore, Chargers. A lot of teams are like that. Unfortunately, the Cowboys have this. Will they show up on Sunday? That's the big thing. And then the final two games, Cincinnati over Buffalo in Cincinnati. That is the sole reason, but I do think that Cincinnati, after a little bit of bumps in the road, is showcasing that they are the better contender in the AFC than Buffalo. Buffalo has been off. They're supposed to be one of the top AFC teams, and they're just not really doing it. I mean, maybe they get it together at this point. Who knows? I still think it's going to be a good game, but I think Cincinnati's got a clear advantage here, especially at home. And then we're picking against the Jets because Zach Wilson and the Jets are not a good team. And boom, we're going with the Chargers. A wishy-washy Chargers, but still a better team than the Jets for Monday Night Football. Those are our picks and predictions for week number 9. What are your guys' picks? Let me know down in the comment section down below, and we'll see you guys back here, of course, next Thursday or whenever I get the video out, of course, because sometimes I get it out late. But let's hope for at least, all right, there's 14 games. I want 12 points. I only want 2 wrong. That's my goal. My goal is, of course, my goal is to get a perfect week. Very rarely does that ever happen. I'm going for 12 points. I want 12 points with these picks. Let's see what happens. Sayonara, everybody. Have a great Sunday watching some great football. All right. Bye-bye.